Alright, what's up, y'all? If you're watching this video, it's because you're working on the Unit 2 Day 1 packet. This is actually our second day working on this packet, but for most of us, we didn't finish our annotations yesterday, and I want to make sure, or the last class, and I want to make sure that we get a chance to do that. So I've grabbed Brian Anthony's packet, mostly because Brian Anthony is this pretty strong annotator. And I'm just going to talk through what I've seen on his packet so that if you've made similar mistakes or you've had similar successes, you can see where those are and then work to improve your annotations. So first off, I'm starting off by looking at this box right here. And in this box, what I like to see from Anthony is that he's taken the time to make the note that purpose for reading is I'm trying to figure out why the author wrote this article. All right. That's important for Brian because what it means is as he's creating his annotations here, he can be looking and trying to figure out exactly what was the purpose of the author here. What was he trying to do as he wrote this? And then when we look at it, previewing text prediction, this text will be about guys, boys, turn into men. Quick stuff, turning into men. But he should also have a because here. All right. Why does he think that this article is going to be about guys turning into men? And to do that, he should probably have come back up to this background information. John Katz believes that sensitivity is being beaten out of boys. Katz analyzes this male maturation process and how boys become men. First published in 1993 in Glamour, a magazine for young women. Because he could point to the title, How Boys Become Men, as something that indicates that boys are turning into men. But he also left out this maturation process here. And it's possible he just didn't know the definition of maturation, but that means too mature, which hopefully at this point you've been in class and I told somebody to grow up or be more mature. That's what he means. So the maturation process, it's because this text will be about guys turning into men because the background information mentions maturation. And the title is, let's actually go with implies that it will explain how boys grow up. Okay? Now let's get into the actual annotations. This is an example from the last video. But just quickly as a reminder, his summary, two boys walking, one trying to avoid being hit with a bag. Boy let himself get hit by a bag to prove he's no chicken. Alright? Then we flip over, and Brian continues on with his annotations to say, no, a chicken probably would have had the same sense to get out of the way. The boy was already well on the road to becoming a man, having learned one of the central ethics of his gender, experience pain rather than show fear. Saying you have to experience pain, and then literally just stops halfway through. Come on, Brian. Rather than show fear. Alright, one way that it's not you. Right? If this is you and he's talking to a female, that's not what this says. It's not saying everybody does this. It's saying boys. Alright? But what Brian has missed over here is he didn't make an inference about that. Alright? But I would make an inference here is boys won't admit pain. Alright? That's an inference. We're just tracking that right now because as a reminder, as you're making your inferences, you're looking for speaker, audience, format, topic, an author's purpose. At this point, I would probably, if I was Brian, I probably would also make a note that he's telling a story about boys. And then let's go over this section as well. Women tend to see men as a giant problem in need of solution. They tell us that we're remote and uncommunicative, that we need to demonstrate less machismo and more commitment, more humanity. But if you don't understand something about boys, you can't understand why men are the way we are, why we find it so difficult to make friends or to acknowledge fears and problems. Alright, this honestly is the paragraph that gives you the purpose. He is telling what he's going to be writing about here. Explaining how women see men and why they are and how they are. True. Now let's look at the inferences. Not telling a story about the boys anymore. All right, this is also a good point. That's a good thing to be tracking because it talks about format. He's not telling a story. But what is he saying? All right, and I would continue on these inferences just to say explaining what women need to know to understand men. Okay? Continuing. Boys live in a world with its own code of conduct, a set of values, ruthless, unspoken, and unyielding rules. Then the rules are, don't be a goody-goody, never rat, if your parents ask about bruises, shrug, never admit fear, ride the roller coaster, join the fist fight, do what you have to do. Ask for help if asking for help is for sissies. Empathy is for nerds, you can help your best buddy under circumstances. Everyone else is on his own. Never discuss anything of substance with anybody. Grunt, shrug, dump on teachers, laugh at wimps, talk about comic books. Anything else is risky. Alright, and then Brian starts with, explain to women what guys to appear masculine. He means do to appear masculine. Alright, I would continue this, though, with a note. Like, what do they need to do to appear masculine? Alright, and this is act tough. Be mean. Don't talk about feelings. Alright, a list of, and then on the inferences side, a list of what it takes to become a real man. Alright, and Brian written real man here is a question. You should make an inference about this, right? You should be asking, is this really what it means to be a man? Alright? Does being tough and picking on people and not talking about our emotions actually mean that's what it takes to be a man? Alright, I might ask the question here is, why do men do this? But then my answer here would probably be on the lines of, because that's what the rules are. Okay? And then as you're going, as you continue to annotate, you should be finishing up these pages. Remember, there's a video that is going to go over this last step with you. But what do you know about the speaker? Who is the audience that this was written for? And then, like we were tracking with, well, he starts with a story, now he's making a list. You should be tracking what types of format do you see in this article. And then the topic you started to figure out, just like, all right, this is about boys growing up, but take it beyond that. It's not just about boys growing up. What else is there? And honestly, if you're in my English class, you should be thinking about social identity as well. How does what he's saying here relate to social identity? And last but not least, but this is the most important, why did the author write this? What was the author trying to do when he wrote this article? All right, I would like to be able to talk with you at the end of class about this, so I would expect you definitely to have this finished by the time the bell rings. All right, put your hand up in the air if you have any questions, and remember, when you finish the article, you are expected to watch that second video that will help you review the answers at the end.